And welcome everybody back to the Bangers and Classics podcast. And I believe this is a special edition, isn't it, David? Something like that.
Yeah, it's a special edition,
Oh,
James.
right.
I thought we were finished with all this
Well,
nonsense.
so did I. Yeah,
Yeah.
but never
Apparently
mind it.
not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was quite a good party we had, but
Well, that was the only reason we called it a day,
probably.
was for the party. And we've said before we are going to come back with a new format for Bangers and Classics in the new year. But we'll pop in periodically in the podcast before then, I think, James, won't we?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I can do. Yeah, well, yeah. Just in case anybody doesn't know, it's me, James Ruppert, and him, David Malloy. So,
yeah, everybody knows you, James.
do they? No, I don't think they do really.
Yeah, no one cares who I am.
Uh,
So, yep. So now that we've sorted all that out,
yeah.
we have a quiz. And in true Bangers and Classic style,
Mm.
I don't know what questions James has written and is going to ask. More fun that way, because otherwise it'd be too organised, too sterile, and
Yeah.
we don't do that. We're just completely chaotic here.
Are we? Oh,
Well, exactly. So you didn't even know that. You were so chaotic.
well, there you go.
No self-awareness of chaos, my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that means. So I think we should maybe do what? Oh, start with a batch of 3 questions each.
Oh, okay.
I suppose we should explain the rules first. Yeah.
Oh, are there rules?
Yeah, well, sort of. It's not a multiple choice quiz, because that, again, it's fine, but what's the point? It's just questions and answers. So, yeah, if you don't know it, look it up. Pretty much everything, all the questions, the answers are out there. A lot of them have been in the podcast, in actual fact. And you don't need a pen and paper for this, because all you need to do, if you miss a question or whatever, just replay the podcast.
Oh, right.
To your heart's content. Now, once you've got the answers, all 20 of them, send them to us by direct message on Twitter. Please don't put them in the Twitter feed. You can if you like, I suppose. I mean, we don't really care, because but it would be better if you sent it to us by DM. We do expect that more than one of you will get all the right answers. Probably all of you will get the right answers, all two of you. But however many it is, should we say whether you get all the right answers or not, the best people with the best scores will go into a hat, and we'll pick out 2 winners who will each receive a prize. And the prizes will be revealed on Thursday when we upload this podcast. This is currently Tuesday, our traditional day of late for doing the podcast. And it seems that we're going to continue in that vein. Just don't mention Vanes to the count, because he might be kicking you out. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. So it's very, very simple. Don't take it too seriously, because I can tell you now, we ain't taking this seriously at all. We're just not made that way. Anyway. No. So, if I may, James, can I kick off with the first question?
Yeah, I think you should do, because I've still got to make all of mine up.
Oh, you fibber. You absolute fibber. That's it. What, 3 minutes back into Bangers and Classics after quitting it?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were doing all of the questions, David, but never mind.
I thought you were doing them all.
Well, there you go.
All right. So, thankfully, I did some just in case.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, just in case. Anyway, start off with the first question. In which James Bond movie did 007 drive a Renault 11? A wise choice of car, obviously. I'll repeat the question. In which James Bond movie did 007 drive a Renault 11?
Is it Dr. No?
Oh, you've bloody well told him the answer.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well,
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, no. Right, what have you got then, Spoil Sport?
Well, I've got a banger question, actually. And my banger question is, now this car was very celebrated as one of the cheapest brand new cars you could buy in the early 2000s. And I just wondered what a Perodua Nipper was in a previous life. I don't know. Can anybody tell me what a Perodua Nipper was, apart from a terrible car? What was it in a previous life? Well, yeah, I mean, even I don't know, but I thought someone might be able to tell me. So
that's about par for the course.
Yeah. Because that would help me writing Bangapedias. If someone told me that, I could work it all out.
You see, there's a method to his madness, folks. There always is. Anyway, this is something that James will know the answer to straight away.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's going to be, yeah. This is one of your favourites.
All right.
Which car commercial featured a yuppie couple named David and Joanne? Okay, I'll repeat it. Which car commercial featured a yuppie couple named David and Joanne? And James, I can assure you, was rather fond of Joanne.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for my part, I'm just upset they used my first name in it, but there we go.
Yeah, they did as well. Yeah,
Mm.
and they did have the backing as well. That's the incredible thing. But there you go.
Yes, well, don't be hasty about it, eh?
No, exactly.
Right, James,
Yeah.
fire on. Your turn, my boy.
Well, I just wondered, again, I'm throwing questions out there so that I'll be better informed at the end of this quiz. How many seats will you find in a Daimler DS 420? You know, the one that loads of mayors and funeral directors used to have. It can vary, but I'd like to know the maximum number of seats, or probably the maximum number of students that you can get inside them, because that used to be a thing in the 60s. That you get 33 students inside a Mini, but I just wondered if you were sitting properly in a Daimler DS 420, how many could you get on board? And remember, there are flip down seats as well in those as well.
I know a chap.
Mm.
He's got a Daimler DS 420.
Has he?
Yep, he's 19 years of age.
Goodness me.
He's got many cars. I have
Mm.
written about it. It should
Yeah.
be appearing in a forthcoming magazine. But
Goodness
one of his
me.
cars is a Daimler DS 420.
Wow.
I have seen said car.
Mm.
Still don't know the answer, though.
No.
No. Shocking. Well, I've been watching some old clips on
Yeah.
TV, etc. recently, and a not 9 o'clock news spoof sketch gave rise to this question because they spoofed this.
Yeah.
And the question is, which former top police officer promoted the Goodyear Grand Prix S tyre in 1970s UK TV ads? His slogan, or the slogan they used was, "I am convinced it's a major contribution to road safety." So I'll repeat that. Which former top police officer promoted the Goodyear Grand Prix S tyre in 1970s UK TV ads? The slogan used by them being, "I'm convinced it's a major contribution to road safety." Also check out the Not 9 O'Clock News sketch, and it's quite funny as well.
Yeah. My dad actually met him in a lift in the Middle East in the 1970s when he obviously didn't work over here anymore. And he said
Mm.
hello to him.
Well, apparently he gave the money he made from all except the last ad to charity.
Yeah,
And the money
I think he might have done.
yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
And the money he got from the last advert, he split with his family.
Yeah.
So he seems to have been a decent bloke, this guy.
Oh, I think he was. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
the last of the decent ones. There you
Yeah, very decent bloke. So
go.
kudos to you for doing that, sir. So, James, your question number 3.
All right. I've got another one in the same vein. I'll get rid of all my questions that I need answered for the purposes of finishing a book. And so, can anyone tell me the boot space in liters for a Suzuki Cappuccino? You can have a random guess at this because it's not one of those easy ones to find online sometimes. But yeah, Suzuki Cappuccino, a lovely little car to drive. But if you wanted to put some luggage in the boot, and as you know, at Bangers and Classics, we have actual, luggage which has the literage on it, so that when we take pictures, we know how many big and little bits of suitcases we can get in the back. But yeah, how many liters in the back of a cappuccino, if anything? Because it could be a trick question. Maybe it hasn't got a boot. I don't know.
What's this all about suitcases and numbers?
Yeah.
Maybe it's poly bags. How many plastic bags can you get in the boot of a car?
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm the guy who used to take his court files to court in in the Tesco value carrier bag.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I just couldn't do the whole briefcase thing.
Yeah. I love briefcases. I've got loads of Samsonites, actually.
Nah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I had to. I just couldn't go in for the whole briefcase thing.
I absolutely I adored the briefcase era. I'm very sad that it's all gone to silly, soppy man bag and, things over the shoulder. Bring back a proper Samsonite, I say.
An attaché case, even.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But
Right.
ideally a Samsonite, because there's little tumblers on it, David, and you can lock it. So, all your paperwork would have been extremely safe, unless it had been stolen, but they wouldn't have been able to get in it. So there you go.
Oh, here's something. You mentioned the Suzuki Cappuccino.
Mm,
That's in the book I wrote.
is it?
Yeah, Lesser Spotted Classics,
Goodness me.
collaboration with Russell Wallace.
Yeah.
A fine little book, even though I say so myself.
Yeah.
Though I can't lie and say that the book capacity is mentioned in it because it isn't.
Mm,
I know that for a fact.
yeah.
But I know where to find it. That's all I'm saying. I know exactly how to find out what the capacity is.
Yeah.
I've got the means of doing so about 3 or 4 feet away.
Right.
It's not in my computer. Anyway, we'll plod and do the first 5 questions and take a break. Question number 4 from me
Yeah.
is a car called the Paykan.
Mm,
Remember that, James?
yeah.
The Paykan was an Iranian-built version of which well-known car? I'll repeat it. The Paykan, which is Paykan, in case you're wondering, was an Iranian-built version of which car? My uncle had several examples of the car in which it's based. I believe I've mentioned it in the podcast before. So if you've been paying attention, which you shouldn't have been, of course, you might know that straight away.
No, that's right. Yeah, we had a gold one of those, and I think it's on the back of one of my books actually. Slightly, you can see part of it. But there you go.
Not a plug at all there, James.
No, of course not. Absolutely.
You're just plugging the whole range, so everybody has to go out and buy all your books. Look at the back.
Well, I would hope so because it's the only way I'm making a living, David.
Oh.
Everything's gone over a cliff this year. So yeah, I have to fall back on my old skills.
All right, it's nothing nonsense. Give us question number 4.
Number 4. I think this is an easy one. But if you can give me the name, the sort of top secret name, development name of the Rover 200 coupe, and I think the Cabriolet was called it as well, but it's mainly associated with the coupe. So if you can give me that, I've got another question answered.
Yeah, I know the answer to that one.
Do you? Oh, good.
I do, yeah. I do indeed. But I'm not going to give it to anyone, obviously. I can be bribed. I can be tempted. If you're stuck for that, you can, I'm sure we can do a deal.
Yeah, maybe we should come up. Who comes up with the best bribe?
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's a great idea.
Great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because
I have a price like you do, David. It'd be great to see if it comes up.
10p for a cappuccino, Gov. So, question number 5. Let's see what we got. Which car of the 80s/90s was, according to the UK TV ad, voiced at the end by Michael Jaston, I believe, built like Rocky?
All right.
So which car of the 80s/90s was, according to the UK TV ad, built like Rocky? In case you're wondering, Michael Jaston was quite a notable actor who did an awful lot of voiceovers. He did St. Ivo Gold for many years, I believe. Very distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Very distinctive commercials. And this was one for a certain car company.
Yeah.
Anyway, James, your question number 5, please.
Yeah, I sort of do really. I don't know if anybody remembers the Mahindra Jeep at all, which was around sort of in the 80s and 90s. It was a time, I've been studying this recently, when off-the-road vehicles were basically license-built Jeeps, really. But this one, when it came here, had an engine. And can anybody tell me who supplied the engine? As a clue, it's a diesel engine. So what power plant did a Mahindra Jeep have when it was properly imported here?
Did they buy it off Fred?
Hey?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fred supplied the engine, didn't he?
Fred? I don't know.
Fred. Yeah, it was Fred, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He got a consignment of them.
Did he really? He got a job lot, did he?
Yeah, the job lot in this lockup, yeah.
I'll tell you what, you speak to people who own Mahindra Jeeps and they think they're okay, because now you think, oh, they're probably rubbish. But actually, they were pretty good basic go anywhere things in the old tradition of 4x4s.
I actually don't know anyone that's ever had one.
No.
So I couldn't say either way. I've not heard anything about them, good or bad.
No.
The fact that I've not heard anything bad presumably tells you a story in itself. Anyway, let's take a break and we'll come back with part 2 of the quiz. This is Bangers and Classics, and as you might have noticed, we're back. Well, it was better than getting real jobs, wasn't it? Welcome back to part 2 of the Bangers and Classics Quiz 2022. Couldn't think of a catchy title for it. Maybe James will come up with one. Talking of competitions, James, our friend Kenny S has
Yeah,
had his
absolutely.
annual photo contest.
Well, that's right. Absolutely. I mean, that's the biggest event of the year, really, isn't it? And actually, it's the realest event of the year because obviously all these people go to all these posh shows down south, and Kenny goes to the places which not everybody goes to, mainly because they don't live in the area, but also because these are, very, very special little shows. In a way, these are the true enthusiast shows, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Mm.
I used to work with someone who shall remain nameless who had shown no interest in golf whatsoever. And then the last time the Open was up at Turnberry, well, I don't know if that was about 2009 or something, was off to Turnberry for the whole 4 days. Why? Because it was a place to be seen that weekend. Nothing to do with any interest in the sport, just because it was a place to be seen. So, yeah, give me an enthusiast any day of the week, every day of the week, in fact. So we'll crack on with the
Yeah.
quiz. And I have a question. This relates to me, but it has been mentioned before in the podcast. I've also written about it. So the answers are out there to this, and I've banged on about this car a few times. So if you don't know it, well, you should listen to the pod, guys, or read some of the things I've written. Or better still, just send me some checks or whatever. I'll take postal orders, cash, whatever. Question is, which much loved car was stolen from my driveway in the 1990s? I'll repeat it. Which much loved car was stolen from my driveway in the 1990s? And it was stolen, I have to say, in spite of the presence of my Psycho Ninja Attack Beagle, who was actually the softest dog on the planet. He was so soft, he let the burglars in the house who nicked the keys and nicked the car. Didn't get far and I got the car back, but that's not the point. So there you go. That's a personal question. It's the only one, and it's about cars, I say, that I have banged on about before, and no doubt we will do so in the future. What about you, Mr. Whippet? What have you got for us?
Well, I've got a question actually that the Bedford Enthusiast Club can probably answer, uh, as related to what we've been talking about, because I need to know when the Bedford Rascal became the Vauxhall Rascal. I wondered what year that happened. So, if anybody, you can obviously have a guess, but I'm sure the Bedford Enthusiast Club know definitively. Yeah, have a go at that.
Hmm. All right. Don't know the answer to that one.
No, well, there you go.
No. Here's one for you, James.
All right,
Being a BMW man,
all right.
how many times has BMW been awarded the European Car of the Year? As of 2022, that is. How many times has BMW been awarded the European Car of the Year? I'm sure you'll know that answer.
Yeah, I do know the answer to that.
I'm not going to comment on it or give any clues about it. You can find out for yourselves. That was question 7. What's your question 7, Mr. White?
Well, again, I'm keeping it real here. I just wondered what headlights were used on the Reliant Robin Mark III.
Flippin'
Because
Nora.
yeah, there you go. It's because it's quite interesting because I've been looking at Reliant Robins recently, and it's quite interesting to see they've actually used some quite interesting frontages basically on their cars because they're off the shelf. But specifically for the Robin 3, which aerodynamic headlamps did they use?
All right. Funnily enough, I have 2 books about Reliant three-wheelers, again, sitting a few feet away from me.
Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, and I have read them. I
Yeah.
still don't know the answer to that.
No, I bet you do. I bet you'll go, oh, yeah, that's because it is quite straightforward.
Yeah, I can look over it. I can actually see
Mm.
the book in question that I need to look at. It's sitting, it's no more than about 6 feet away,
Oh, well, goodness me.
sitting next to my camera. No, I honestly wouldn't know the answer to that.
Oh, okay.
Interesting one. What I can tell you,
Mm.
what I could have asked the question
Yeah.
is what car was the Sapani Dolphin originally? And I'm not going to ask you it. It was Reliant Kitten.
Oh, really?
Became the Sapani Dolphin, yeah.
Goodness me.
I should have asked that one, but I didn't.
Yeah, you should have asked
And
that one.
well, that'd be 2 questions about Reliance. That wouldn't really be fair.
I think it'd be okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, Nothing against Frontline,
Mm.
a nice little company in their day.
Mm.
Made cars for people, employed people in this country. Obviously a good thing.
Mm.
Sadly gone.
Yeah.
What else can you say, I'm afraid? Oh, this is a good one. Let's go across to Italy, James, for this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure the Italians will thank us for this, but never mind. The Innocenti Regent
Mm.
was an Italian market version of which car? I'll repeat it. The Innocenti Regent was an Italian market version of which car? And James hasn't got one. He has got an
Oh, okay.
Innocenti, but he hasn't got that one. And yeah, I just don't know what they'd have made of that in Italy at all.
No.
I really don't. I can imagine
Mm.
lots of Mamma Mia's and throwing up fans in the air,
Yeah.
and quite justifiably so. But there we go. So, your question 8, Mr. Ruppert.
Yeah, well, this one, you could actually buy the Hindustan Ambassador in Britain in the late 80s, early 90s. A fairly terrible thing, really. It's
A car
just an
was that
old.
a car?
So it was a car, yeah. It's a fairly terrible old Morris Oxford. I just wondered if anybody knew what the last official name of it. Its official name, actually, when it was being imported, was not the Hindustan Ambassador. It actually had another name that it was sold under. So if anybody can tell me what that is, that'd be quite interesting.
That wasn't Fred then either, was it?
No.
Oh. Okay. I don't know the answer to that one either.
All right. Okay.
That was not a long-lived car, though.
Yeah.
Right, James. So let's go
Yeah.
slightly more modern car than the Hindustan Ambassador.
Yeah.
It's not been sold in the UK for 10 years as a new. No, I believe you can still buy one on the continent.
Yeah.
But they stopped importing them. Anyway, it's the Renault Espace.
Yeah.
And the question is, how many of them were sold in its first month on sale in 1984?
Yeah.
How many Renault Espaces were sold in its first month on sale in 1984? And the answer is out there. You can find it. It's not a very nasty question. I've written about that as well, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's a matter, isn't it? I've got to have written about it.
Yeah.
I don't like it when anybody else writes about them. I get
No.
upset. And it's like, oi, what do you know about them? Mr. Whippet, penultimate question from you.
Right. Well, this is they're actually calling this the Hammer horror end of the question. Yeah, and the first one is Caroline Munro. I think we might have mentioned once on the podcast. What's her favourite car? And that has been mentioned. And also, if you read Free Car Mag, there's an interview with her, sort of, where she tells us what her favourite car is. So I just wondered if anybody knew or taken that on board, or it's just me. It's probably just me.
No, I know it as well.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, that's only because you never shut up about her.
No.
Anyway, final question from me.
Yeah.
I believe I've got a World Cup going on just now. Absolutely no interest in it whatsoever.
Is there a World Cup going on? I didn't know.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I have a question that's related to one, not to this World Cup. Which footballing legend, and I think you will agree I use the term advisedly if you know what I'm talking about, was pictured with the Fiat Panda for a promotional shoot for the Italia 90 Special Edition Panda at Wembley Stadium? So I'll repeat the question, even though I've deviated from what I'd written. Which footballing legend was pictured at a promotional shoot for the Fiat Panda Italia 90 Special Edition at Wembley Stadium? And that's the old Wembley Stadium, the one with the Twin Towers, which was the proper Wembley Stadium. And I say that even as a Scottish guy. Do you know the answer to that one?
No, David, I haven't got a clue.
Oh, you should have. Shocking. You've got a book about World Cup, Cortinas.
Yeah, I don't know, David. I don't know. I'm not sure what I did last week, David. It's all a blur.
That's it. Just you're just living too fast, James, obviously.
Yeah.
That's it. So you got one more question for us?
I have. And Valerie Leon, very well-known Hammer horror actress, she actually owned the registration plate VL1. and there is a picture of her with her own car. And if you actually were following old Hi Kenny's top 10, you might well have spotted one of these. So she actually had VL1 on the front of that car. And then there is a picture of her, which I think you can find if you do some trawling about on the interweb. And it's Valerie Leon with VL1 on the reg plate. And she's obviously draped across the bonnet. And that's her car. So if you know what car that is, let us know.
She was in a Carry On film as well, wasn't she?
She was, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she was in Carry On Film, Carry On Camping. I think you'll find her in, and I think
think
she
it
might have
was.
been Carry On Girls. I think I don't know.
She was certainly in
Uh,
Carry On Camping.
She was in Carry On Camping. Yeah.
When British cinema ruled the world, James.
Well, that's right. Yeah, she was working in a camping shop, and I actually worked above that camping shop, which wasn't a camping shop because it's
Yeah.
in Maidenhead. So that's going back a long time. So there you go.
You worked in Maidenhead?
I did work in Maidenhead
Aye,
actually.
aye. Nice,
So
nice part.
it very nice area to work in. Yeah.
On the banks of the Thames.
Very much so, absolutely. So
Yeah.
drive over a little bridge every day to get to Maidenhead. It's very pretty.
Well, especially at night when all the lights were on
Yeah.
the riverside, that was very, very scenic at
Mm.
night. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't so far from where my uncle lived at one time, so
All right.
I know it quite well. Yeah,
Good.
and I did like it. Anyway, that's the 20 questions.
Oh, is that it?
I think it is. I think,
Goodness me.
yeah, I mean, we could do a tie break, but I don't think that's very fair. I think just chuck them all in, all the correct answers into a hat, or you could build one of your machines.
Yeah, well, I could do. That's very complicated, though.
Yeah, the only,
But what we're more interested in how you would like to bribe us. Actually, we're really very much open for bribery in this. So yeah, if you can bribe us, you'll probably win whatever it is because we haven't thought of what we're going to give away yet, obviously. So
and if the count's listening, could you please return James' copy of the How to Woo Hammer Horror Actresses book?
yeah,
He's feeling quite bereft, which is why he's managed to mention 2 in this podcast.
yeah. Well, it's only 2, isn't it?
Well, chuck in Ingrid Pitt as well, and on you go.
Well, I could have done, but these are car questions. These are proper 24-carat car questions. So, I'm not. This isn't being done for superfluous purposes. This is genuine bangers and classics history.
I'm sure you could probably chuck in an Ingrid Pitt question about cars. For Eagle Steer with vehicles in it.
Yeah, there probably is, isn't there?
Who dares wins?
Yeah.
Many years later, yeah. But there we go. Yes, as you've said before, she had an interesting life, Ingrid.
Yeah, very much so.
So that concludes this podcast, the return of Bangers and Classics.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this on a weekly basis, this podcast, but we will drop in from time to time, as well as the new format that we're working on, working feverishly on at the moment, aren't we, James?
Well, it's very, very expensive, David. When you're dealing with a Hollywood budget on these things, there's a lot of things need to be put in place. You need a lot of producers and runners and all sorts of things going on.
Uh-huh. Right, that'll be Fred again then.
Yeah.
He's done all the jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will be back, I would imagine, before Christmas with something else. Probably your Christmas special, don't you think, James?
Yeah, we can do.
I think.
Yeah, whether or not people want to hear it.
Well, who cares? Who cares about that?
Yeah.
I mean, too many people get hung up in audience figures and all that kind of nonsense. The whole point is having fun, and this is our new slogan, James.
Right? Is it
bangers and classics? Putting the fun back in fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'll work.
Okay.
Then who cares if it doesn't?
No.
And no one's going to sue us, are they?
What do I do about that?
Well, no. What are they going to do? They'll probably just send us to a certain place again.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon. But in the meantime, get those answers in to us whenever you can. We'll keep it open for what? Oh, I don't know, a couple of weeks, James.
Yeah, something like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
give you lots of chances to work out your bribes. So you can post them to us by then, you see. Right.
Send the bribes in. What's that Bob Geldof quote again?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one, yeah. We'll just use that one. We'll notify the winner by direct message. Just in case you don't want your name mentioned in the podcast or your name's mentioned in the podcast. You don't have to mention in the podcast. Let's face it, who wants to be associated with us too?
No, well, it's terrible. I mean, it's only going to affect your life one way, isn't it? It's going to be bad.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, well, has to be said, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all downhill. Anyway, take care, folks. Speak to you soon. And until then, enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm off in my Perodua nipper.